Hey, my name is Christian Brown, and this is the Grind to Glorify channel. I just wanted to take time out of my day to share my story and testimony on where I came from and why I'm sharing this message now. So 3 years ago, my wife came to me and gave me some exciting news. She said, Christian, you're going to be a father. And man, I was excited. What a blessing. A moment I've waited my whole life for, being a dad. I was ready to go. Of course, I was also fearful and anxious of how much IKEA furniture I was going to have to put together. And that's a whole different story. And my wife will laugh at me for that. But I knew in that moment, the man I wasn't who I wanted my son to know. I knew in that moment, that I just felt like I wasn't good enough. I was living a life of just enough. You know, just enough isn't good enough. We talked about that yesterday. Just enough in my life. I was doing just enough to be a husband, just enough to be a Christian, just enough to be a son, just enough to be a man. I was living my life just enough. And I realized in that moment, just enough wasn't good enough anymore. And I had to change. I had to evolve. I had to learn and I had to grow. And so I had my what, I had my why. I didn't know how. I didn't know how. I didn't know where to start. Didn't know what to do. And there was a gentleman in my local church. And I went to him and I said, hey, you seem to have what I want. He was a godly man. He was physically fit. He was a great father, and he was financially stable and all these things. I was like, dude, you're a sick husband. You're an awesome father. You love God. You're in shape. That's what I want. I want to do those things. And I'm not there. At any of those points, I was not there. And I realized in meeting with him that he wasn't going to take it easy on me. My mentor was a very call you on the carpet, tell you how it is, tell you the truth because you asked for it, and not really be sorry about it. And that first meeting, he just said, Christian, you lack discipline. Christian, you don't finish. You start a lot of things. You have a lot of good intentions, but you don't finish anything. There's no discipline. And I'm stubborn, so I was like, no, but of course he was right. I lacked discipline. And so he told me just simply start with your fitness. If you do your fitness first, everything else will kind of take care of itself. And I was expecting like, hey man, read your Bible and you'll really get this message, or hey, go read this book. And he was like, no, just go work out. And that wasn't really what I was expecting, but he definitely was right. Fitness first took care of it for me. So I got home and my wife had this pink yoga mat, and I just used the yoga mat down in the garage and turned on some YouTube videos, some workout videos on YouTube. And I started doing 10, 20, 30 minutes. And I wish I could tell you after that meeting, I was like super stoked and I stuck with it. But that wasn't the case. I had to continually plant that seed of discipline in my life. I would uproot it. I would start and I still didn't have that tendency. I didn't have that discipline, didn't have that drive to finish. So it took me about a year to grow the lifestyle, to grow the habits, to grow the routine of working out. But throughout this workout, that wasn't the only thing I was working on. My mentor, he gave me a book, Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. And in that book, a lot of great lessons. But the main thing was you're in charge. Anything that goes wrong, it's on you. You're not in shape. That's on you. You're not closer to God. That's on you. You can't blame anybody else for your problems. It's on you. And though that's not a new idea, it was a newer idea to me. And I really soaked that in, and I learned, and I started reading. I started listening to podcasts, and I just wanted to know what this word discipline meant and where I could get it from. And Jocko Willink did a lot of that for me. My mentor did a lot of that for me, but I had to seek it out myself. You don't get disciplined by just sitting around doing nothing. You have to do the work. My mentor, he's a really great guy, but he's only going to invest in you as much as you're going to invest in yourself. So there were many times where he wouldn't meet with me because I wouldn't talk to him because I was off doing my own thing, not focused. And I feel like discipline's the same way. Discipline's going to invest in you as much as you're going to invest in yourself. And the thing is, I needed a goal. I had started this routine, started this habit, and I needed a goal now. I needed to get off the pink yoga mat and really push myself. So in high school, we had this thing called a 1,000-pound club. The 1,000-pound club was 3 of our maxes, our bench, squat, and power clean would equal 1,000 pounds. And that was really the stronger guys got that. And that was never something I was driven enough to attain. And I was like, that's what I want to do. That's going to be my goal. So I upgraded from the pink yoga mat to the cage that you see behind me, and I really started working and getting after it. And I had this goal, I had this 1,000 pound on the whiteboard there, and I just knew that was what I was pushing for. Every time I worked out, that was the goal. That's what I was wanting to do. And setting a goal did a lot for me. Setting a goal allowed me to push through some of the hard days, because again, we talked about discipline is doing what is necessary even when it's hard, and working out isn't always easy. Reading your word when you don't want to isn't always easy. Loving those around you when it's difficult isn't easy. So being disciplined definitely took time for me to grow, took that seed time to grow, but I definitely feel in my life that I'm starting to see some fruit from that discipline tree. So I started that journey at about 2 years ago, hitting that 1,000 pound club from that yoga mat. And maybe if you've seen on my board, this past March, I was able to reach that. This past March, I hit the 1,000 pound club, super excited about myself. I actually hit it 2 months earlier than I thought I was going to hit it in this month in May, but I hit it in March. And man, finishing something, guys, y'all have no idea. I can post a video of it. My wife will hate me, but if you want that video, comment below and let me know. But there's a video of me finishing, and my wife said I was pretty loud, I guess you could say, and I probably was, because I was super excited. But finishing something, being driven, being disciplined to do it, man, there's no better feeling. And I did that, and I realized that in doing so, and being disciplined and pushing myself, a lot of the things that my mentor said would take care of itself did. Because once you start building discipline, it kind of starts building in other areas as well, kind of starts pollinating in other areas. And after I hit the 1,000 pounds, I realized that this was a message I wanted other people to know. I didn't want people to wait till they were 27, 28 to learn this lesson of discipline. I wanted men all over the world to know this. My background, I used to be a teacher and a sports coach, and even did some work in ministry. So talking and sharing messages comes very natural to me. And I wanted to be able to share this message to you all, not because I want my face out there, but because I want to help you, because I want you to know that building discipline in your life will help you, will guide you, will make you a better person, make you a better man, and eventually will make you a leader of men. And that's the goal. Is I want all of us as men to grow and to learn and to seek after our goals and to be driven. I think that's the biggest thing in our life. Is we don't want to be just enough. We don't want to do just enough. We want to be more than that. We want to be driven. We want to be men of character, men of action. We want to learn. We want to grow. We want to evolve. I think every man wants to be a good father. Every man wants to be a good husband. Every man wants to be a good son. And most importantly, every man wants to be a good man. And I think we can't do that without discipline. And that's something that I learned later on in my life, but that's something I want to teach you, and something I want to grow on, something I want to learn. And again, we're just planting seeds right now, but man, that fruit's going to taste so good at the end. Like I said, yelling, screaming, maybe being a little theatrical, my wife said, but it's worth it. And then once you start that, it's hard to go back, because the fruits, you just keep seeing it time and time again. So that's my story. That's where I'm at now. I just want to hear from you. What's your story? Where are you at right now? How can I be of service? Please message me if you want help, if you want to talk about kind of where you're at. I'm an open book. I would love to engage with you, but comment below if you feel free. If you don't feel free commenting to the public, DM me, message me on here, what have you. I would love to talk to you about where you're at and kind of where we can go from here, because again, this is a 2-month series, and I want to continue us planting those seeds and building that progress. And by the end of this, my goal is that you're going to be at that starting line. You're going to be ready to begin your journey of discipline. So I always say, go out there and take care of business. What I want you to do is go out there and take care of yourself. All right. Think about what you want to be. Think about where you want to be, and let me know. And most importantly, let yourself know. Write it down, journal it, what have you. I believe in you. I'm proud of you. Let's go out there. Take care of business.